frowned dissatisfied and looked at the congratulations. The notification said that he had become one of the heroes of the novel The Knight of Iron and Blood. He recognized this novel because he read it yesterday. The hero was asked to try hard and wish good luck in the message. He did not understand what wish and what request were being discussed, did not understand why he was imagining it, because he was not even drunk. The hero opened his mouth in surprise. The thought came to him that perhaps this was a migration into a body from another world, which often appears in web novels. Street with a crooked mouth. Lloyd noted that Xavier spoke without any fear. Lloyd felt the floor and dreamed of a heated floor, but suddenly realized that he was in a medieval fantasy. Xavier turned around and told the hero to rest and said that he would report to the Baron about his tricks tomorrow morning, to which Lloyd asked not to tell and immediately received a negative answer. Xavier was impenetrable, like a wall. Xavier had already opened the door as Lloyd turned to him. The guy with a strange smile asked if they had much light at home. Xavier closed his eyes, surprised by the strange words. He slammed the door behind him without answering. The hero silently thought he knew the entire content of this novel. In his world, lying in a narrow room, finishing reading the last chapter on his phone, he knew the fate of his character. On the cold floor, the pale hands of the Baron and his wife lay on top of each other. The hero knew that at the very beginning of the novel they fell for vile swindlers, lost all their fortune and committed suicide. Lloyd was lying drunk on the table and asking to be served alcohol. After killing his parents, he began to beg and drink non-stop. Lloyd vomited blood and held his throat. Dropping the mug, he died. The guy threw off the blanket and screamed that even if he had become an aristocrat, his life was as worthless as in Korea. He mentally turned to the Absolute, remembered the notification sign, tried to understand what it was up to. He did not understand why he had stuck it in this body. Morning came and the town under the mountains was illuminated by the sun. The white walls of the mansion shone in the sun. Xavier walked calmly behind the lady in the white dress, who was clarifying what Lloyd had done in the tavern last night. It was his mother named Marbella Frontura. Lloyd stood there shabby and realized that he had actually read a novel yesterday. An agitated Marbella asked her son to go and apologize to her. Lloyd did not let his mother finish and immediately agreed, guiltily scratching the back of his head. He understood that he was responsible for the pogrom that his body had committed yesterday. Marbella and even Xavier suddenly opened their eyes in surprise, which was noticed by the pop-up notification. The hero did not understand. Should he not be at least a little proud of him? The sky above the medieval houses was clear and calm. A man was putting bales of straw into a cart. Something caught his attention. Xavier and Lloyd were approaching him along the street along the barrels and windows. The frightened man immediately hid behind his cart, not even thinking to look in the direction of those walking. Lloyd looked at him questioningly. All the passers-by on the street shuddered and ran in different directions, only noticing Lloyd with his companion. The surprise on Lloyd's face only grew. The little boy looked at the walking couple with curiosity. Then he was pulled inside the house with the words that he must not look at him. The window sashes slammed shut. A pop-up notification informed the boy that the villagers hated him. He replied that he had already noticed it. Lloyd walked without taking his hands out of his pockets, asked why Xavier was following him. Xavier kept his hand on the hilt of his sword and said that the Baron ordered him to guard him and make sure that Lloyd did not repeat yesterday. The hero asked again in surprise, did he really need to guard him? Xavier calmly replied that it would be more accurate to protect the residents from him, to which the hero called himself a monster, not suspecting inside what he had done before. Lloyd looked around guiltily, realizing that he first needed to clean up his image so that at least someone would give him a piece of bread when he started begging. He mentally stopped himself, deciding that it would be better to somehow sort out his family debt first. He imagined himself bathing in huge honeycombs, realizing that in this case, as the successor to the owner of the village, he would be able to live in luxury for the rest of his life. Lloyd mentally asked if there were any cheats here. A blue window immediately appeared in front of him and he was surprised that there were skills here. Lloyd's skills on the table were such skills as worthlessness and drunkard. Dissatisfied, Lloyd tried to knock this table down with his hands. But Xavier, who saw nothing, looked at his master with embarrassment. Lloyd, struggling with the table, went ahead. Xavier called out to him and asked where he was going. Lloyd only turned to the white-haired man in confusion. There was a tavern on the side of the guys. Xavier stopped at the level of the door, looking at the guilty gentleman and pointed to the tavern, asking if the apology was really a lie. Lloyd began to deny it. Xavier fell silent in confusion. Indignant Lloyd began to shower him with questions. Xavier closed his eyes and invited the gentleman to come in. Lloyd slowly opened the door, looked inside with an apology, to which Xavier, standing behind him, could not find words. He looked at the gentleman calmly, but internally he understood that something was wrong with him since yesterday, as if he had become a different person. In the tavern, all the furniture was broken. Cracks were crawling along the wall, the trophy skulls were half broken. Lloyd fell heavily onto a chair and loudly declared that he wanted to apologize for his pranks. Xavier watched in surprise. The bald owner of the tavern took a fighting stance, which was noted by the blue notification window. Lloyd looked at the owner of the tavern, bewildered, as he stuttered and asked the gentleman to stop. The hero thought that perhaps this happened because such a non-entity as he suddenly began to speak respectfully. Lloyd looked away, deciding to change his strategy, briefly and rudely ask for forgiveness. The notification